Understanding the law, the facts, and the reality. A plain English guide to civil and criminal accountability for sustained online abuse. England and Wales. Part 1. How the legal system basically works. 1. Civil law vs. criminal law. What's the difference? Civil law is about harm done to a person, accountability between individuals, remedies like damages, compensation, injunctions, orders to stop, declarations, formal findings of wrongdoing, standard of proof, balance of probabilities, more likely than not. Criminal law is about offenses against society as a whole, punishment and deterrence, brought by the state, CPS, not the individual, standard of proof, beyond reasonable doubt, a much higher threshold. Important. The same facts can support both civil and criminal proceedings at the same time. That is not unusual. It is normal. 2. Summary, either way, and indictable offences, plain English. In England and Wales. Summary offences. Heard in the magistrate's court. Less serious, e.g. some communications offences. Either way offences. Can be heard in magistrates or Crown Court. Seriousness depends on scale and harm. Indictable offences. Crown Court only. Most serious. Many online abuse offences start as summary but become either way or very serious in practice because of repetition, duration, targeting, vulnerable victims, safeguarding implications, scale of publication. Part 2. What is actually being alleged here, factually? Over a period of years, to large online audiences, the following statements, among many others, have been repeatedly asserted as fact, not opinion. That I abused my children with bleach. Abandoned my children. Gave pictures of my children to pedophiles. Faked being sectioned. Got myself sectioned to avoid court. Am a pedophile. Associate with or protect pedophiles. Pedophiles. Killed black babies in Africa. Scammed veterans. Scammed the internet. Lied about humanitarian work. Interfered with police investigations. Physically abused my eldest daughter. Masturbate over my own children publicly. Masturbate over other children publicly. Am addicted to crack, heroin, ketamine. Target women out of jealousy. Used a dead baby for clickbait. Contributed to my father's death. Hounded Sabina Wood whilst she was dying in the same house as Adam Lashbrook. Go bin diving for food. Lied, for attention, regarding every aspect of my life, specifically rape and sexual molestation as a child. Repeatedly entrap men and falsely cry rape. Target and harass countless families from Hampstead, of whom I was unaware. Have never been to Israel. Am not a Jew. Target and bully countless fully grown, wealthy and supposedly successful men. Infiltrate groups to destroy them. These statements. Accuse me of serious crimes. Accuse me of child abuse. Accuse me of sexual offending. Accuse me of fraud. Accuse me of racially motivated mass harm. Accuse me of serious mental instability. They are false, repeated, broadcast, monetized, and made while I am prevented from responding. Part 3. Common sense questions for any reasonable person. These questions matter in both civil and criminal law. 1. Reality check. If someone genuinely believed a woman had abused children, committed sexual offenses, killed children abroad, committed fraud, would a reasonable person report this to police or safeguarding authorities? Or would they livestream it for entertainment, accept donations, mock her, call her it, and repeat it daily for years? 2. Silence and control. Why is the person accused blocked, muted, deleted, or unable to speak? If the purpose were truth or safety, why suppress response? Why not test the allegations? Is preventing response consistent with honest belief, or with narrative explain. 100 plus people, day and night, for 7 to 8 years, gathering to hear abuse of one woman, with no new evidence, no investigation, no conclusion. Does time make false allegations less harmful? Or does it entrench them as truth? 4. Children and foreseeability. Is it foreseeable that my children will one day read allegations that their mother abused them? Read allegations she abandoned them? Read allegations she is a pedophile? Does the law really require a parent to accept that silently? Part 4. Civil Law Analysis. Plain English. A. Defamation. Defamation Act 2013. In simple terms, the court asks: 1. Were false statements published to others? 2. Did they refer to the claimant? 3. Would ordinary people understand them as alleging serious wrongdoing? 4. Did they cause, or were they likely to cause, serious harm? Allegations of child abuse, sexual offending, fraud, killing children, serious mental illness, are inherently gravely defamatory. Repetition plus scale plus permanence equals serious harm. B. Harassment. Protection from Harassment Act 1997, Civil. The court considers: is there a course of conduct, 2 or more incidents? Would a reasonable person know this causes distress? Years of accusations, dehumanization, silencing, public humiliation meet this test comfortably. C. Aggravating features, civil. Involvement of children, dehumanizing language, monetization, refusal to correct, duration, power imbalance, audience vs silence target. Part 5. Criminal Law Analysis. Plain English. 1. Malicious Communications Act 1988. An offense is committed if a person sends a message that is grossly offensive, indecent, or false, with the purpose of causing distress or anxiety. Repeated false accusations of child abuse, sexual offending, serious crime are textbook examples of messages designed to cause distress. 2. Communications Act 2003, S.127, covers messages sent over public electronic networks that are grossly offensive, obscene, menacing. Context matters. Repetition, audience size, targeting, impact. Years of sustained broadcasts aggravate seriousness. 3. Harassment, criminal. The same course of conduct that supports a civil harassment claim can also amount to criminal harassment, particularly where distress is severe, conduct is prolonged, warnings are ignored. 4. Why opinion is not a defense here. Criminal law does not protect knowingly false statements, repeated allegations presented as fact, accusations of serious crimes without evidence. Calling something commentary does not convert lies into lawful speech. Part 6. Psychology. Why this can happen without excusing it. Anonymity lowers restraint. Crowds diffuse responsibility. Repetition creates perceived truth. Dehumanization removes empathy. Monetization rewards escalation. Understanding this helps explain how, not justify why. Part 7. Final proposition. For any reader. The Internet does not suspend the law. Repetition does not convert lies into truth. Silence does not imply guilt. And cruelty does not become lawful because it is popular, anonymous, or profitable. In summary, a plain English explanation of what my own case is really about. England and Wales. Let me start by explaining what this is not about. This is not about disagreement. It is not about criticism. And it is not about someone having strong opinions online. This is about what happens when false allegations are repeated, publicly, over and over again, for years, and when the person being accused is not allowed to speak. And to understand that properly, it helps to understand, in very simple terms, how the law works. First, how the legal system works, in real-life terms. In England and Wales, there are 2 main types of law that matter here. Civil law. Civil law is about harm between people. It asks questions like, has someone been harmed? Was that harm caused by someone else? If so, what should be done about it? The outcome is not prison. It is things like compensation, court orders to stop, and formal findings that something was wrong. The level of proof is this more likely than not? Criminal law. Criminal law is different. It is about behavior that harms society as a whole. It asks, has a criminal offense been committed? Can it be proved beyond reasonable doubt? The outcome can include prosecution, conviction, punishment. The important thing to understand is this. The same behavior can be both a civil wrong and a criminal offense. That is not unusual. It is normal. Now, what is actually being said about me? Over a period of years, not days or weeks, but years, large online audiences have been told, repeatedly, that I abused my children with bleach, abandoned my children, faked being sectioned, got myself sectioned to avoid court, am a pedophile, associate with or protect pedophiles, killed black babies in Africa, scammed veterans, scammed the internet, lied about humanitarian work, interfered with police investigations, physically abused my eldest daughter, masturbate over my own children publicly, masturbate over other children publicly, am addicted to crack, heroin, ketamine, target women out of jealousy, used a dead baby for clickbait, contributed to my father's death, hounded Sabina Wood whilst she was dying in the same house as Adam Lashbrook, go bin diving for food, lied, for attention, regarding every aspect of my life, specifically rape and sexual molestation as a child, repeatedly entrap men and falsely cry rape, target and harass countless families from Hampstead who I have never spoken to, have never been to Israel, am not a Jew, target and bully countless fully grown, wealthy and supposedly successful men, infiltrate groups to destroy them. These statements are not framed as questions. They are not framed as opinion. They are spoken as fact. And many of them accuse me of serious criminal behavior, child abuse, sexual offending, extreme moral wrongdoing. Here is the first common sense question. If someone genuinely believed these things were true, what would a reasonable person do? Would they contact the police? Contact social services? Raise safeguarding concerns? Or would they live stream it, laugh about it, monetize it, repeat it daily, and turn it into entertainment? That question matters. Because intent matters. The next question, why am I not allowed to respond? Whenever these things are said, I am muted, blocked, deleted, or prevented from speaking. So ask yourself this. If the aim was truth, why stop the person accused from speaking? If the aim was safeguarding, why not allow clarification or evidence? Silencing someone does not test a claim. It protects the narrative. Let's talk about scale and time. This has not happened once. It has not happened twice. It has happened day after day, often with 100 or more people watching, for 7 or 8 years. In real life offline. That would clearly be recognized as harassment. The internet does not change that reality. It just hides it behind screens. Now let's talk about children. This is the part that cannot be avoided. My children will grow up. They will have internet access. They will be able to search my name. They will be able to read that their mother abused them, abandoned them, is a pedophile, killed children. Is that harm foreseeable? Of course it is. And the law does not require a parent to quietly accept that. How civil law looks at this. Civil law asks very straightforward questions. Were false statements published to other people? Yes. Did they clearly refer to me? Yes. Would ordinary people understand them as allegations of serious wrongdoing? Yes. Was serious harm likely to result? It was inevitable. When lies are repeated at scale, over time, they do not fade. They stick. That is defamation. And when those lies are repeated as a pattern, day after day, that is harassment. How criminal law looks at this. Criminal law focuses on purpose and effect. If someone repeatedly sends or broadcasts messages that are grossly offensive, false, or deliberately distressing, and does so knowing the harm it causes, that can amount to criminal offenses under malicious communications laws, and harassment laws. Calling something content does not remove criminal responsibility. Calling something opinion does not protect false accusations of crimes. A word about crowds and anonymity. Psychology helps explain how this can happen. When people are anonymous, restraint drops. When they are in a crowd, responsibility spreads. When something is repeated, it starts to feel true. And when the target is dehumanized, called it, mocked, stripped of humanity, cruelty becomes easier. That explains the behavior. It does not excuse it. So what is this really about? This is about whether the law still applies when abuse is online, monetized, repeated, and socially reinforced. It is about whether we accept that repetition turns lies into truth, silence equals guilt, and cruelty becomes lawful if enough people watch. Or whether we say, no, the law still applies. Final thought. The internet is not a separate universe. It is part of real life. And real life rules still matter. Lies do not become true because they are repeated. Abuse does not become acceptable because it is popular. And silence does not mean consent. That is all this asks the court or any reasonable person to recognize.